This is podcast number 280. Woo. We are your positive gaming and Xbox One community. We're so happy to be here. After a long week, you've worked hard. You're back at work. The summer is basically over. Get to the end of the week, and what do you want to do? You want to play games. But what do you want to do before you play games? You want to listen to us talk about games.
Mm-hmm. So you know which ones to play.
So we know which ones to play. That's what we're here for. No, well, we are here for that, but we love doing this, so thank you very much for being here. This is podcast number 280. As always, I'm joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First, it's Mr. McSpicy.
Hello.
It's Jordan the Man.
Hello.
And I am X1. We all had a chance. Now, I've jumped into this for a while, so you guys have all heard me speak about it. But I want to do an in-depth full review of this for those of you who maybe have played this game, tried it out, didn't like it, stepped away for a while, and now, just talk about it to see if it's time to come back. And that game is Red Dead Online. And Mr. McSpicy and Jordan the Man jumped in pretty big this week in a big way. Mm-hmm. I want to start with Mr. McSpicy. I love the new summer update. The newest summer update for me did a lot. It really brought back the online universe. There's just a lot to do, in my opinion. But Mr. McSpicy, what do you think of it? How are you enjoying Red Dead Online?
I like it. There you go.
At the end.
No, I really like it. I like collecting things.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Holy snot.
You're an Excel sheet man, and you basically put together an Excel sheet.
Yeah. I put together so much. That was so much work. And what's funny is you just sent me a text of a link because I couldn't find anything on the collector. So
well, there was in all fairness, there was nothing that was this morning that was sent to me this morning.
You should have posted yours, Mark.
Yeah, well, mine is actually better than what you sent me, but that's because I do it all it's all manual. It's not
like auto.
Yeah. So basically, you have different classes. What do you call those things? Are they classes?
Trades. Roles.
Trades. They're roles. They're called roles. They're trades. You can be a hunter, basically. You could be a gunslinger, basically. And you could be a collector, basically. And I'm on the collector thing, and it is so much fun. I spent hours and hours and hours looking for my route to go and collect arrowheads, deck of cards.
Wait, so do you have the shovel and everything? And metal detector?
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
You need the metal detector. The big money, the thing that chart doesn't tell you is where the big money is.
Well, usually rings are...
Rings are good.
No, but usually rings are like... anything that's buried, right, is worth a lot of money. Oh, also graves. Have you done any graves?
Well, there are things that are buried at the graves.
Yeah.
I've collected everything.
Oh, very nice.
100% everything. And so how I did it is I looked at how much things are worth and price per unit, and if you sell them out as a set, you get more, etc. Blah blah blah. And I set out like routes and stuff and which would be the best things to pick up. And I took Jordan and I took our barber that plays with us quite a bit along with us. And I called it a collector raid because that is what it was. You get so much experience and so much money from collecting.
From each little thing you get like almost 200 experience.
In 2 days, I maxed out the battle pass, whatever it is.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, wow. I'm 70 out of 70.
Wow, well
in 2 days.
Collectors.
I'm level 30 on the battle pass.
Boom.
That's just one night with me.
and level 13 on the collector.
Out of 20.
So have you done any of the other roles, or you've just been primarily focused on
I've done a little bit of the hunting stuff, but that's just, there's nothing to that. You just go hunting, and then you bring it back to crypts at your camp. And then occasionally you have to get supplies.
Didn't you figure out a way
in order to do it? But they changed it, so it's no longer efficient. They make you now go a certain distance.
Because I was watching you stream, and you were like, "Oh, I'll just do this over and over again, right?" And
yeah.
Because it builds.
So the key is when leveling up, so there's charts and there's things to level up collectors. Use those to level up. Each of them has like the best practices, right, for leveling up. So there's different roles. There's the bounty role. There's the collector's role, and there's the trader role. The thing that I like about it is each role is distinctly different, right? That you can enjoy doing whatever it is you like to do. So Spicy really enjoys going and collecting. I really like doing the hunting and then turning it in and getting the money. I'm trying to get to the wagon because that's where big money is with the wagon because then you can take it out. And
the
you can-
100 wagon.
Yeah.
I heard you shouldn't get the medium wagon because right when you get the medium, you can basically
get the other one.
Yeah.
So no, but the hunter wagon, so you can go out and you can stack all your buffaloes, you can stack your bears.
Yeah.
You're not just limited to one. But so the way you do it is if you're trying to level up, there's two ways. You can do it for money, which you want the 3 stars, you want to take in big deliveries. But if you are just doing it for experience, if you turn in 1 pelt or 100 pelts, you get the same amount of experience. So just turn one in on your way back to crypts, kill something else, and always have one working, and then you're just it's just a back and forth to try
Couldn't
to get
you
it.
just couldn't you just make deliveries, like pick up supplies over and over? Don't you get 650 XP?
You
from that?
do, but you can only pick those supply missions only become available when Crypts runs out of supplies.
Oh, so those aren't.
Yeah,
okay.
and do that. I made the mistake of purchasing supplies because I was like, I don't want to do that. But no, you get 600 XP.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
For it, so
that's
you
how
need
much
it.
I got.
Yeah, so always pick up the supplies. Bounties. Jordan, you like bounties?
Yeah, so I like bounties a lot because I like the gunplay. I feel, and this is just me, I feel like the least amount of work went into the bounties. I don't feel like they're as developed as the collecting or anything like that. And maybe it's just because
Well,
I don't know.
have you done the
Maybe
new-
bounties are just more straightforward. Like, go kill this guy, bring him back.
Well,
Right?
here's
Now
the-
there are some good bounties, and this is where I wish they had more. So they have star bounties: 1 star,
Legendary.
2
Those
star,
are-
3 star,
those are
4 star. Right?
Those are legendary bounties.
I actually did a 1 star bounty yesterday, and I actually thought it was harder than the 4 star.
Wait,
that we
which
did.
one?
The Wolfman.
No, okay. No. So how it works, you're correct in that there's stars.
No, yeah.
But how it works is there's 2 legendary bounties.
Yeah.
The first legendary bounty was Barbarella, the girl that we went.
Yeah.
Every time you do it, so the first time you do it, she's a 1 star legendary.
Oh, okay. So you build it up. Okay.
Yeah, and if
cool.
you notice, so when you did it, you had 3 lives to waste.
Yeah. Now
so that's how those legendary bounties work.
Have you done the Wolfman
Yeah, the
bounty?
Wolfman
His
is
is
awesome.
way hard.
His is way cool.
Because what you have to do is spoiler. So you go get this guy up in the mountains, right? But no, he basically, I mean, unless you're really good and ready for it, he essentially dies at the beginning from a bear. And then you have to fight a bear, which is really hard. And then you have to fight all his wolf packs. Like I think fighting animals in this game is much harder than fighting humans, right? And that's why I think his bounty is harder than that other lady that we did.
Yeah.
Because, NPCs take cover, whereas animals just come right at you, right?
You've got to roll in a posse when doing the bounties, especially the legendary bounties.
The bounties, I really like the bounties a lot. I feel like, and maybe it's just the nature of bounties because it's go kill this guy, bring him back, right? Whereas the collection and even the hunting is more of a, like hunting, you go out, you have to stalk the animal, you got to use the arrow, you got to get the perfect shot, you got to, then skin it, bring it back, right? There's a finesse to it, right?
Yeah.
The collector, it's puzzles. You're essentially figuring things out.
Yeah.
You're digging, you're using your equipment to use. The bounty is I think it's just
Well,
the
and
nature of it. Go out, kill
even
and
with
go.
the collectors, I know probably what appeals to Spicy is even if you know the location of something,
It's still
when
hard to
when
find.
you
Yeah,
get
it's still
there,
a
you have
puzzle,
to find it, right?
I
So-
made $6,000 in 2 days.
And the collector, and the collector gives you the most money, right?
It really
there's
does,
that
and
too.
the most XP.
And don't get me wrong, the bounties are fun, and I do them a lot because I like the combat, right? So it's fun. But I just, I don't know, maybe more.
this is 1860 $2,000 or $6,000. You know,
Yeah.
that's like $1 million today.
And maybe once I start doing maybe because I've leveled the other 2 up higher than the bounty right now because I've played with you guys doing them. Maybe as soon as I'm right there to buy the paddy wagon in the bounty.
Yeah.
So maybe once I get that and do more at a time and stuff, it'll become a little bit.
So-
I'm not saying it's not fun. I like it. I just feel like it's not as fleshed out as the other 2.
Well, here's where I think you're missing out on the experience in bounties. Because I think you're right. When you're doing it by yourself, it's just not as good. But the other 2 are basically built to do by yourself. Collectors, you don't need anybody.
Yeah.
Trader, you don't really need anybody
No, I agree
either.
with that.
In bounties, so for instance, I ran in a 7-man posse.
Yeah.
In 7-man posse, the bounties are completely different. There's 6-man bounties
Oh,
where you
okay,
got to
yeah,
get
yeah.
all 6 guys. You got to capture all 6 guys,
That's
put them in a paddy
awesome.
wagon.
Yeah, no, that's really
all
fun.
all at once. They're in a gang. There's stuff like that. So bounties are built for posses.
Posses, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
different sized
I
posses.
haven't done it. We've done it a 2-man, right? So we did two. I think we did 1 4-man.
Yeah.
And that was still. I mean, it's still fun. Like I said, doing it by myself, I don't feel like it's as fleshed out as the other 2.
Yeah.
But,
So overall, I really felt like this summer update, guys. Overall, I feel like this has brought me back into Red Dead Online in a big way, and I think this is setting up things. I said this before.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
For the future, for permanent housing. This is step 1. They had to give us stuff to do.
The collector, I'm just telling you, that is so much fun for me. Me and Jordan and Blake, I called it a raid because I prepared all day. Where were the route we were going to take?
there was even a DPS check.
There was a DPS check. Well, that's because I stole Jordan's. Isn't that when I stole your horse and tried to swim it across the lake? And then I realized I wasn't going to make it.
No, that was the alligators that I ran through.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, it's so much fun. Like, my brain works in a way, that's how it enjoys it. I look at all the price per items you can get, where they're located, where on the map. The map's huge.
You're a min-maxer.
I am a total min-maxer. And the collector is just the greatest thing. I never go back to games, ever. I went back to Red Dead because of this.
Yeah, it's legit.
It's really fun.
So a couple things, one involving you. So first thing I love about this update, the major thing I love about this update, other than the rules, is I love battle passes. And I think I was telling both you and Mark this. I think battle passes. I think battle passes or outlaw, whatever they call them, battle passes, right? Outlaw pass in this case, I think is the best monetization in video games. And we can thank Fortnite for that, right? I think Mark says it best. It adds value, right? For $10, you're getting
a value I want.
Yeah, exactly. And what I like is you pay the $10 to get it, yes, but then you still work at it to unlock it. You unlock in this case we're unlocking cosmetics, which super useful. We're unlocking ammo crates, horse care crates.
Yeah.
It's just your typical battle pass, right?
Increased pouches.
Stuff increased
like
pouches.
That.
I love all the unlockables between the Outlaw Pass and the unlockables you get on the rolls.
Yeah, here's my question. Do you think rolls are going to reset? So the season goes until November 18th. Do you think the rolls will reset, or is that permanent?
So
I don't know.
They only went up to level 20, which I think was probably on purpose. I think they'll add 5 more levels.
Oh,
five
each
more,
like with a new season?
Maybe not with a new season, but maybe next year you'll go to 25.
In the challenges section, you can go beyond that. You don't get rewards for it. Besides every 20, you get like a belt buckle or something.
Yeah.
And that's just how all their challenges are.
Yeah.
And it's all turning in stuff as well. So you can turn in the same card 100 times and get every 10 times you do it, it gives you something. You know what I mean? So that's different than what we're talking about. But
I actually showed you guys yesterday, but did you see my new outfit?
It looked good, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
really
new
good.
holster and everything. But the other thing I wanted to tell you, so you were always saying this is the new MMO.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, nah, David, yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I don't think so, right? Yep. So I actually made this comment to Mark the other day when these role things came out. I was thinking, you're correct. This could be an MMO. And I said, this game reminds me of, and don't take offense to this, anybody that plays this game, but I said, this game reminds me of Second Life, but it's fun. You remember that game, Second Life, way back in the day? Because it's really I feel like I have goals to go for now.
Well,
you know what I mean?
So, for instance, Toast, remember Toast? He jumped into my stream this week and said out of all of his games, the most hours he had in the last year was Grand Theft Auto Online, and he thinks he's going to put more hours into Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
And that's just the way, because it's slow and I don't want to word the use, it's tedious, but in a good way, right? Like, it is, and it's just got beautiful places. Can you imagine if you can pick where you put your house?
Yeah.
Like, you have options and you can upgrade.
I swear, once you put that house down, Crip's going to move it.
Yeah. Oh, man, don't even get me started on
Crip, you're on your way back to camp, and he moves camp across the entire map.
Don't even get me started on Crips, friggin' drunkard.
For everyone that doesn't play Red Dead, he's your camp helper, and you will be going and doing stuff like going hunting, getting pelts.
Your camp is like your home base.
That's where you got to turn things in.
Yeah.
And right when you're about to get there, it'll say, oh, Crip just packed up camp and moved elsewhere.
Yeah.
And you look on the map, and it's clear across it'll take 15 minutes to ride your horse out there.
I hit close camp and redo it and make sure, see if it spawns closer to me.
Yeah, it costs you $3 every time you do that.
I'm trying
what
to
do you complain about? You're a millionaire.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you got to get to rank 70, then you can finally get a fast travel at your camp. Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's still that fast travel doesn't it cost like a ton of money too?
But with your battle pass, you got a ton of free vouchers.
Yeah. I was like, wow, why do I? Well, yeah, it was a
ton of them.
But can you Can you fast travel with all? Yeah, I guess you can with all the
fast
stuff.
travel to your camp. Yeah.
All right, I have a new goal.
Boom.
By the way, in 2 days I went up 40 levels.
Well done. Well done.
I'm telling you,
No, collectors is definitely the fastest way because of the amount you get per item, combined with the amount of items there are, right? Like, there's just so many available.
You should see my new outfit for Crip. It's pretty cool. He's got a poncho. And
I do have a question for you guys. I don't know if you've looked. So I love the cosmetics in this game. I think they're fantastic. I've been spending all my money. I even bought a dog, like you can see on screen here. But anyway, I don't know how I feel about this, but some cosmetic items are gold, some are cash, some are cash. Like, it's really weird. And some are only gold, some are only cash, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of, I don't know their formula for what they deem worthy to be gold, which is your real money,
Yeah.
game currency, and what is cash, which is your in-game currency, right? So I don't know if you guys have noticed that at all.
I've
No,
noticed that,
yeah,
but
I
I
know.
haven't. I haven't really. There's only been one item I've wanted that costed gold, and I just said no
Because
no,
I know-
because that's real money dollars.
Yeah, because I know you can do buy with gold or buy with cash, right?
Yeah.
But there's some items that are specifically gold and some are cash. It's weird.
I think if I were Rockstar, I'd make all the cool stuff gold, so people would have to spend money, real life money.
Maybe that's the formula.
But yeah,
Anyways, there you go. Red Dead Online, guys. If you've been wondering, and I'm a super fanboy of Red Dead, so if you didn't trust my word, these two have jumped in.
Yeah,
And Red Dead Online. Can I have a complaint? I have a serious complaint here that Rockstar needs to fix, and I have a simple solution for them to fix it.
do you want me to set the mood, or is
No,
this,
no. This is a
okay.
no mood because this is serious. This is
I can
way
do serious music. I can
No,
do-
anyways, Rockstar. So here's my complaint. The last 2 days. So it didn't happen at first, but I think people have caught on. To how popular this. Like people are back playing Red Dead Online, right? So when we stream it, typically we're either number 1 or number 2 when streaming. The last 3 mornings I've been number 1, and every single morning I'm getting stream sniped. Now in other games when you're stream sniped, let's say I'm playing Apex and I'm stream sniped. No big deal because the purpose of that game is for me to kill you faster than you can kill me. You have a little bit of advantage because
Still
you can
pisses
see
you
me.
off.
Yeah, because you can see, but at least I have a chance. In Red Dead Redemption, when it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and the only thing I want to do is ride around in the rain shooting elk. That is it. It's relaxing to me.
Can you not just
I
appear
enjoy it.
offline?
If I appear offline, they can still search my gamer tag.
yeah, and join that.
And
way.
join.
You can still join when you appear offline.
Yep. You can
Same
search
way
me.
I can still invite you when you appear offline.
Now you just announced to the whole world
Can
that
still join.
you
They
can mess him up.
They come in, and I'm leveled up. I've got good weapons to defend myself. But it's like I've got to spend 20 minutes fighting these dudes off till they get tired, and then they never get tired, and they're sitting in chat meanwhile the entire time. There was a solution this morning where you can block the player, so I went in and tried to block the player. It didn't work either. Was still able to get in. But all you have to do, Rockstar, is make it so that people have to be invited to each other's worlds. Because that's why should I be able to randomly join anyone's world, right? Anyone's instance. So anyway, the other day when it happened, I got really pissed. So yesterday I got really pissed.
I mean, you can. There's another. I mean, just do it how MMOs do it. You can have a PvP server and a non-PvP.
Yeah,
server,
but
right?
if the purpose of Rockstar is because I don't have a problem if I'm randomly going around and someone decides to gank me.
No.
I'll gank them back one time and then I'll ride off and do whatever I want. The problem is when I'm streaming is they always know where I'm because
Yeah.
when you get away from someone, your dot disappears, so nobody knows where you're at, right?
But when you're streaming,
But when you're streaming, they always just go to wherever you're at. So it's super frustrating. All you have to do, Rockstar, is make it. And I get that's a point of your game. That's the point of
No,
Wild
yeah,
West, which
yeah.
I don't mind when I'm not streaming because, again, I have a way to escape. But when I ride 20 miles away to the other side of the map and they appear right next to me and are just following me shooting, or if I parlayed with them. That gives you 10 minutes. They just follow me. They just follow me until the parlay's over. Boom, shot. Like, so obnoxious, unlike anything I've ever experienced.
I heard you basically shamed someone off the server, though. Like, you beat them so bad they eventually left.
Oh, yeah, we...
You got in a big old posse.
we
and just-
posseed up.
And just
That's the thing. We
murdered them.
We posseed up and then we just killed them
Yeah.
multiple times.
Spawn
But
camped
that's
us.
not what I wanted to
No,
do.
yeah.
You know? But Rockstar, all you have to do, if you want to keep that formula, is make it so people have to be invited to each other's servers. You just can't join random servers. Like, that's it. That would solve everything.
Do you know how you beat griefers? I actually found this out this week.
Huh.
Mark was there with
Yeah,
me.
want me to tell what happened?
Yeah. So I
We
have
go
a
into- we roll into
philosophy
town.
of beating griefers.
Yeah, this is how he does it.
Okay.
We go into town. Obviously, there's this guy in town that's a real player in the menu system. And Jordan goes, you know how I figured out how to beat griefers? He pulls up his gun and shoots him in the head and goes, you grief. and then we ran to the fast travel
and
and
got
left.
out of there.
Yeah, but see, if you were streaming,
No, yeah, so-
when you fast travel and got out of there, he would just join you.
So my philosophy is that person was probably a griefer at one point in his life, and now he knows how it feels to be griefed. You bully the bullied.
Yeah, that's...
The bullied.
Fight
bullied.
fire with fire.
Oh, can I tell one story that
It
was
was funny.
seriously the funniest thing
I was
I've ever
laughing
seen in
pretty
my life, and it involves you?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so David and I were doing a bounty first
It
day.
involves me?
Yeah, funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. So we're doing this bounty, and it was just
Oh,
it was
yeah, I
just
think I
him
know
and
what you're
I.
talking
Yeah, it was
about.
just him and I, and we had to go get this lady.
There
She's
was
like,
three
yeah,
people
there's
that we
three
had to
bounties.
get. And there's
So
only
we
two
brought,
of us.
We brought two of them back, and if you capture them alive, you get more money. So we got everybody alive. We hogged time. We left one person there. We ran back. We dropped the two, and I was like, okay, well, what do we do, David? You know, because they can escape your ropes, right, and then run away. So I was like, oh,
They were
David,
they're laying on the ground behind the prison.
So
because we don't want to turn them in yet.
Yeah, because we
got
want
to
to
go back to get the other
yeah.
guy.
So I was like, okay, David, what if one of us stay here in case they escape, and then the other one goes and gets it, and there's like, oh, well, it's a legendary, so we don't want to, send because we're no lives, right? So if you die and it's a harder one, so it's like, oh, we both got to go, and I'm just sitting there like, man, what do we do? Like, how do we figure this out? We need the wagon, we need the wagon. So David gets off his horse, and he slowly walks over to one guy, and he's like, I know what to do. And he pulls out his shotgun and he blows his head off.
In the head.
Yeah. It was hilarious. And there was this I'm standing there watching. I promise there was like blood splatter. Like it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So you take care of it.
And then we had room.
we went back and got the other guy.
Got the other guy.
Boom, successful.
Yeah. So how do we complete? I was really. Don't worry, Jordan. I know what to do.
Dude, it's so fun.
Shot it. It was
so
hilarious.
fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just thought that we would review that since you guys had played it, and I know it's become more popular.
I think this is, you predicted this before, this is the future of this game, and I think it's just going to grow. They can do, with what they did with collectors, they have so much potential in this game.
Yeah, and it's not that Grand Theft Auto, they're going to get rid of Grand Theft Auto Online, but they've learned from Grand Theft Auto Online. So for instance, the Battle Pass, like, genius. That alone is enough to have you. If they only dropped that was enough to get you back in the game. But they dropped that with everything else, which is amazing. Have you done any of those stranger missions where they pop up and like?
Do they have new stranger missions?
Yeah, they're crazy cool. Like I'm riding by and there's a lady she's like, "What are you looking at?" And she's digging graves up. And you got to go help her, and then you get stuff for collector stuff. There's like just really cool stuff all over the place. It was a 13 gig update. They added a ton. Anyways, Red Dead Online, we're all in it. It's super fun. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, make sure you do.
And with that, shall we get this
the show on the road?
Show on the road.
Jordan, tell us what is happening in the world that is Xbox One this week.
A lot of good stuff, actually. But first, I got a little surprise story for everybody. Funny enough, my wife actually brought this story to me. So she watches a show called The Masked Singer. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. Basically, the premise of The Masked Singer is there's professional singers, just regular singers, random people like Terry Bradshaw, right? All dressed up in these big masks, and they sing. Basically, they're judged on their singing, right? No one knows who they are, and then, there's a winner. People get revealed. Big story this week is Ninja was one of the Masked Singers. And he was actually really good.
Did he sing?
Yeah, he sang, and the judge was like, "This guy's a professional singer, so he's got to be professional, right?"
They said, I watched it. They said he's not professional. But
no, he's not. Yeah, he sings really well. So I just thought that was kind of cool. My wife came down to my room, and she's like, "Hey, you that Ninja guy? You know that guy, right?"
They're single.
Let's mute that.
Oh, we can't listen to that?
Oh! I thought that was an accident.
No. I thought you guys wanted to hear him sing.
I'd like to hear him sing real quick.
Yeah.
This is him?
Yeah, that's Ninja right
what's
there.
What's he singing? But I think like the little kids know him, right? They're like, I know who that is.
How would they know?
The whole stage is a Fortnite stage.
How would you know him?
So you said not a trained singer.
Not a trained singer, yeah.
That is funny. Anyways, there you go.
That's pretty good.
And then he was unmasked. He's
he was unmasked. So
he's just surpassed gaming. He's bigger than gaming.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought that was kind of fun. My wife told me about that. I was like, oh, cool. And then I watched the whole episode with her. So.
My wife did the same thing.
Yeah, that was fun. So is that how you found out too? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it happens.
That's exactly what happens.
I don't watch TV. It's too mainstream for me.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Nice,
man.
I get it. Yeah.
Hey,
well done.
We also, but that was just really cool. So we also got some games with gold this week. So first off, we got
games with gold, baby.
October 1st, which is next week. New games with gold for October. We got Tembo, the Badass Elephant.
Oh,
yes. Now free. Starting October 1st.
I've never heard of this game.
I don't know how you haven't.
Yeah, he's the badass elephant.
Yeah,
man.
he's Tembo, the Badass Elephant. I think this is your type of game.
I believe it is.
Anyway, we also got one I'm excited for because I've actually played this game on Steam. I thought it was fun. Friday the 13th, the game.
Yeah.
This is the basically
like
one
game?
evil guy, so Jason, right? And then the survivors at the summer camp, and you got to like find the battery to the car and just drive out of there, type of thing. Yeah, it's actually really fun. It's a fun party game if you got friends. On the Xbox 360 side, we got Disney Bolt.
Never played it, but I know what it is.
If you have kids or you like dogs, this one's for you.
And kind of up Spicy's alley.
Yeah, and
What? Why is that up my alley?
No, this
the next one, Ninja Gaiden 3.
Oh yeah,
Razor's Edge.
Okay.
So
Razors.
free to download next month in October. So very cool. Four new games for us to enjoy.
But hold on. The sequels to Ninja Gaiden, were they good, or was it really just the primary
No, the
one?
first one was the best. Second one
Yeah.
was okay. Third one, the free one. I mean, you'll probably like it, but
Yeah.
it's not definitely not the first one.
Not what it was.
The first one, what made the first one so good is how difficult it was.
Did you get my message the other day? I sent you a text message or a message on Slack, and I don't think you replied. Speaking of games that Spicy likes, Code Vein.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a chance to look into that?
I did not. No.
Oh.
it looks really good.
Code Vein. Can we pull it up, James, for Spicy here? Code Vein gameplay. Code Vein trailer. This is how I watch reviewers. I watch people play it. This is how everyone describes it.
They're praising it.
It's anime Dark Souls. That is it. Anime Dark Souls. And at the minute, and when you watch it, they just do really cool stuff. Right there, go through that, and then just go like halfway through. James, that should bring it up. Anime Dark Souls. You get the difference here is while you're playing, you have
my goodness!
you
it
have
is Dark Souls.
You have
It's
a
anime
party.
Dark Souls.
You have a party
with slut boots.
Yeah, you have a party that comes
Not
with
against
you.
it.
An AI party that joins you, and it just looks cool. The battle is really cool. The battle
It's
mechanics are
totally
super
Dark
cool.
Souls. Oh my gosh! Oh, this looks cool.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The action is beautiful. You should see the bad guy. So see, there's your bot that's with you, right? Your AI party.
Can that bot be a real player?
Not to my knowledge, no.
You have to get the soapstone
Yeah.
to link up and play multiplayer.
Dude, but look at it. Isn't that so cool? Anyways, Code Vein, it released yesterday evening. So
No, it's making quite the
Is
splash.
it?
It's
Does it have boss fights and everything too?
It has boss fights to the whole shot. It's got a really cool story that everybody loves. It's getting very high ratings everywhere. Everybody's loving it. So I thought, I'm sending this to Spicy. It's a nice little...
It's two things.
Because
that
I heard
like.
of this game and I saw people talk about it, and then I just never knew what it was about. Here's the boss fight right here. That's coming up. If
It's
look.
like a cutscene.
Yeah.
We're watching
Oh,
a cutscene
so
of
cool
the boss
though.
fight.
Code Vein. Check it out,
That's
Spicy.
quite the mask.
It's for you.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it.
very
I
cool.
like it.
Anime. Dude, you know what they need? Attack on Titan, Dark Souls style. That
Attack
would
on
be
Titan,
cool.
yeah. They just need Attack on Titan everything.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Well, you could do any game as a Dark Souls game, right?
Yeah.
Or any like universe.
In a universe, it'd be so cool. The superhero universe as a Dark Soul would be really cool.
the superhero
Batman, Dark Soul style.
Batman Dark Souls. They could. That would be a really good one.
Speaking of that, have you seen the Fortnite Fortnite?
Yeah, I
Batman
saw
stuff?
that.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
time I
Cool,
see
yeah,
it,
that's
I'm like,
pretty cool.
oh, is this a new Batman game? Oh wait, no, it's Fortnite.
What's funny is
Fortnite.
It looks so good.
they put out a lot of stuff, right? But some of the stuff they put out, like some I don't care about. Other stuff like this Batman one and that Borderlands one, I think are really
The
cool.
Batman one is really cool. Like, well done, Epic.
So-
You guys nailed it. Next news story.
Anyway, yeah, so we got two new
looks
Xboxes coming our way. So we got Xbox Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order bundle. So we have a Xbox One X bundle for $4.99. Comes with the
Very
game
nice.
and terabyte hard drive. And check this out. We have a Xbox One S bundle that comes with a terabyte hard drive and the game for $2.99. So good way to jump in.
Is
and
Star
the
Wars?
big...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, the big story is the new Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order trailer. You're actually watching it right now. If you're live with us, it's on the screen. It is a sweet, sweet trailer. What I like about it is it shows a lot of boss fights, which is really cool. It actually shows 3 boss fights that I saw. But remember when we were, speaking of Dark Souls, remember when we were learning more about it and they talked about, like, I don't know if you want to call it Dark Souls-ish. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. But you know how they were talking about, like, it's kind of that combat style where there's going to be the parrying and, stuff like that,
Yeah,
dodging.
yeah.
That's similar because with your sword and stuff. And what I really liked about this trailer is they showed some boss fights where it looked really fun, and they'll be coming up pretty soon. But this game looks amazing.
Dude,
and
look at
this
that.
that gameplay is so good. The sword play looks sweet, or lightsaber play if you want to call it. But it's basically the story campaign mission. But yeah, the game comes out really soon.
Is it October or November?
I believe it's November, so we're still
Oh, my
about a month
goodness.
away. But November 15th is when it comes out. Here's one boss
Dude,
fight.
look
which
how
is really
good that
I mean, yeah,
looks.
it looks fantastic. If you haven't seen this trailer, go look it up. It's the newest trailer. It's good.
Dude.
It's good. It gets me excited.
If Respawn, look how it just looks really good. That Frostbite engine. If they nail this, EA and Respawn,
There's another boss.
Oh, snap!
this could be giant. I mean, who doesn't want to fight with lightsabers?
I know.
Remember the Force Unleashed? That's why everybody wanted in on the Force Unleashed, because you were fighting with lightsabers. But this looks like next level complicated battle systems, right? And by complicated, in depth is more what I mean, rather than complicated. Just looks really good. Well done. I'm very
Technical.
excited.
It looks
Technical, yes. Yes, Inside Xbox was this week.
Yeah.
And we had some surprise guest appearances.
We did.
We did by yours truly, Jordan the Man, Mr. McSpicy, and myself. And it was awesome. My phone blew up.
We weren't on the. Yeah, we weren't in the actual show.
Yeah.
But we were
Right there, there we are.
A couple of
Look at
cutscenes.
us right there. Oh, it's like, look at those two good-looking guys.
Very,
Major
very
Nelson was
cool.
like, hey, I know them.
Yeah, you're famous, guys. I was
like,
in there too. I'm more of an Easter egg.
You are.
Well,
Easter
what's
egg.
hilarious is you can
And then
see
I'm taking
you can
a
see
picture
Mark
of you.
and David's taking a picture, and I know it's you because you're wearing your Under Armour shirt.
Yeah.
I think you were actually the only one in the arena not wearing an Xbox shirt.
I know. Everyone was pointing that out to me.
Oh, that's funny. But anyway, Inside Xbox was this week. We got a lot of good news, a lot of cool games. We're going to talk about one of them in just a minute. But the big thing we got to learn about is Project xCloud.
Yes.
So, as of right now, you can go.
There I am. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I got scared.
As of right now, you can go to.
There I am, right there. Sorry.
You can go to.
There he is. There he is. Look at
There's David.
That's what a good face to pause on. That's what you do. I'm the Easter egg.
They were serving cocktails.
Oh, that's funny.
Sorry, as of today.
So as of today,
So you can go and sign up for the beta for xCloud. You do have to sign up, and you do have to have an Xbox account to sign up. Now, when you sign up, it's going to ask you kind of what phone and device you have. You do have to have a phone with, I believe, you had to have a certain operating system, Android 6.0 or later.
There you go.
So you have to have Android 6.0 or later operating system, right? You have to have a Bluetooth controller. Which are essentially all the new controllers that they sell, and then it'll ask you kind of what phone you have and stuff like that. But the beta starts in, they didn't give an exact date, but it's going to start in October. They made it sound like it would be mid-October, which is really cool. I actually on Amazon ordered those little clips that they had at E3 that clip onto your controller and hold your phone, you know? So just prepping.
Boom.
You know?
There you go.
nice.
Getting ready. And the games that are going to be starting on is going to be Gears 5. Halo 5 and Sea of Thieves.
That's exciting.
Those will be what's starting. Now I'm really curious to see how they do this because they're doing it in October, and we know Stadia is coming in November.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if they are basically the last half of October and maybe first half of November is just kind of stress testing for them, and if they're going to open up a lot more
For
with
games and stuff,
For
right?
yeah. Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's the open. It's
an open beta.
It's a public beta, so I'm pretty sure most people that sign up will get an invite if you have the correct phones and devices, right?
Now,
But,
here's the thing. If you have an iPhone, it is not available on iPhone. This is not a surprise. This is something that I did ask them when we were trying out xCloud at E3. I said, hey, I noticed these are not iPhones. Is that going to be something? They said just because of the closed nature of iOS, they've got to jump through extra hoops. It is something that they're working on. I mean, their plan is to have it everywhere.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Yeah.
just right now at launch for open beta, it is only on Android. So
yeah, but so I'm curious to see because I don't know how many games Stadia is launching with. I know Stadia is only launching on their Chromecast stuff and then
Yeah.
Pixel, right? So they're not doing a full everything else either. But I think they have quite a few games that will be coming to it though, more than 3.
yeah.
Right, so I'm curious to see if by the time Stadia
But if
comes
you
out,
notice
they're
what
adding more.
Xbox is launching with, those are 3 exclusive games.
three big titles, right? So and I'm sure more will be added, right? I'm just curious to what their timeline is, how their thing is. Now, obviously, when you get the invite, it'll explain. I'm sure it'll explain. I assume it's just going to be app based. You're going to log into an app on your phone, and then it'll connect to the cloud or your box or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how else would it be? But they did say, if you didn't already know, that it's not anything new. It's going to attach right to your Xbox profile, so you
won't
can
have to
play
do anything.
3 missions of Halo at home, and then at lunch continue on the 4th mission on your phone at work, right? So I mean, it's going to just be one fluid system, which is really exciting, and it's almost here.
Yeah, that is very exciting.
So-
It's going to be exciting to see how it works in real world. Like, is it gimmicky? Is it real? Let's from what Phil Spencer has said, it's not at all gimmicky, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's playing it from his hotel room and actually, playing legit game time.
I mean, we know they have the server power because they obviously have Xbox Live already, right? So
Yeah.
they have an idea of how many players they have and what to expect, right? So this will be really interesting. Oh, and I believe, just for those of you that are curious, because I know this is a big question, so you need the phone, the controller, and at least 10 megabits download speed to play.
Boom.
So that is the internet requirement. And I actually am going to try and look for a dongle for my phone to hardwire. You know, I like to get every advantage I can.
Amen.
Absolutely.
So, but
Which you're going playing wireless because you're on a phone, but you got to get that hardwire
yeah.
input.
So, but anyway, they did actually talk about cell service, and I did kind of glanced. I kind of didn't listen to that part because I realized I was on the screen. So that was my bad. I'll update next week.
when
But
I
they did
see
talk about
myself
using
on
wireless.
TV.
Yeah, I
Tune out.
stopped listening
Tune
to
out.
everybody. Anyway, but no, they did talk about. I think they partnered with someone. I forget who it is. But anyway, big news. I think this is the biggest of the week, and I think we all need to join and fight for America. But Atlas has been announced to come to Xbox One game preview. Yeah. It is coming October 8th. It will be going into game preview first because obviously it's still in early access
buying
on
it.
Steam right now. But
We're
are getting
purchasing
it.
it.
And what is it, MOGA, that we need to
MAGA.
join? MAGA? Was it?
Make America Great Again.
Yeah, we
that
see
was,
that.
that
I know
was
we
the
need to fight for
USA
America.
representative.
Yeah, so,
what we're talking about for you new listeners is when this game initially launched on PC, it's Ark survival, but with pirates and ships and treasures and everything you could possibly imagine, with a survival crafting system to stay alive as pirates. What's cool about this game is it's one massive server with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of players. It's interesting how they combine all these people together. It's a really cool way to do it. Interesting way to do it. But what they're talking about with Make America Great Again, since it's one big server, you had
World Warfare
Asian
happening.
players, and you had everyone else that would speak English, because English is basically, if you're not Asian, it's the language of the world, right? So you had two. You could make as big as clans as you want, and the resources are limited. So you would capture islands and capture land, and the only people that survived were the big boys that have a huge backbone of players. And so all these little people started getting absorbed by the Chinese, and then
It's like World War II.
Lines were drawn.
The Chinese started taking over everything. So MAGA
America.
said, "You know what? Not on my watch." You know, and so it was this big old huge political
In-game
politics. It's not even related to real world politics. Just it was so funny because they would interview like the leaders of these clans. In game, streamers would go and just ask them questions, and it was so serious. And we just don't like what the Chinese are doing.
Like legit strategies in game, right? Like legit warfare strategies, economic
I'll pull up.
strategies.
I gotta see this.
Have you heard this? It is so funny. And so the Chinese would use tactics. So how think of this world as a huge grid system, and each grid is kind of an individual server, but it's all one mega server. And so each grid point on this massive like AA77, you know, it's just, think of a huge grid on this huge world with a lot of ocean and islands everywhere. You can only have a certain number of people in one certain grid. That's how they made this a mega server. Is just when you cross that threshold, you joined a mini server, but it was still technically everybody.
Yeah.
What the Chinese were doing is they would overload players in servers. And we're talking thousands of people in a specific mini server, which it's all connected, but they would do it so when somebody sends the
time it.
call out, our base is being under attack, they can't log in. And that pissed MAGA off. That's dirty tactics, according to them.
That's war.
So they were, yeah. It was a really interesting to follow this when it was going down. Was one of the
Is it
greatest
still occurring? Do
I'm
you know,
sure
or?
it is. I'm sure it is.
Is this where Grand Theft Auto role playing got the idea?
Grand Theft Auto? Well,
'Cause I feel like this
RPing has been around for a
No,
long
I know,
time.
but like, isn't RP Grand Theft Auto like fairly new?
Well, at a large level.
Yeah,
It was new. Well, all the players that played this moved to RP when like Grand Theft Auto RP when it became popular. The thing about Grand Theft Auto RP, it's been around for a long time. Just certain big streamers joined. Like Summit was one of the big ones that moved across, and then other people like Lyric has always been. He's a big streamer on Twitch. He's always been an RPer. He's actually I think known as the original RP king. So role playing king, right? They would just get these games and just it's basically when actors free lib or what's that
Ad
called?
lib.
Ad lib, and that's what these games are. But that Atlas is the game we're talking about. There's people in chat that didn't know the game. Atlas is the game that we're talking about. It's coming to Xbox. This opens a world of remember all this for all of our listeners. Remember when we played Ark and all the stories we had with our client on Ark? Think of that on crack. That's what's going to happen with Atlas.
So Jojo in chat brings this up. Is this a Sea of Thieves killer?
No,
I don't think so.
It's a very different game.
Yeah,
Oh, is it really?
It's
Just
it's
because
Ark.
they're pirates?
It's Ark
it's
with
Ark.
a pirate skin.
That's what, and it's a deeper, more grindier Ark, which is crazy to say.
But
Because Ark
do you
was
think
crazy.
that you think that your base Sea of Thieves players would be drawn to Atlas or no? Drawn away? No, 'cause
No,
it's too
100% no.
Okay.
I mean, if you like gaming, then maybe you like them both, but they are not related genres at all.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
They're both pirates, but all
I
games have people in them. Doesn't mean they're the same game.
I will say on October 8th, I am excited to fight for America.
Yeah, it was so James, I'll pull up some of the stuff, and it was such an interesting dynamic to see this happening over the course of several months.
What's that movie where it's war? Like the computer, it's a game.
War Games with
War
Matthew
games.
Broderick.
This is basically war games. That's all Sea of Thieves is. It's actually
or Atlas.
Atlas. Sorry,
Yeah.
Atlas. It's just war games. The Pentagon developed it to just test people.
The interviews it was so fascinating, and some of them were funny, but they took it players take these things so seriously. Well, if you spend hours and hours making a stronghold on an island, and then China comes in and uses their little characters that you can't read and just steals everything, you get pissed. You don't know what to do.
Ronan says it looks super cool, but they have had major server issues. This was a problem.
I think Ark did,
This
too.
was a problem with Ark as well. Remember, it was never considered fully released until like 4 years later. So
These are, server issues are going to be always a problem with games that have thousands of people in a single
not
server.
only that, but it's not. What is it? Pre-game? What is the
Alpha?
Yeah.
Alpha.
It's going to be in
still-
game preview.
It's game preview. There you go. And which Ark was basically for forever.
I think I think that's the new norm is they just release it early. Everybody just releases their games early nowadays.
Yeah. So there
Which
you go.
Is unfortunate in some cases, maybe not so unfortunate when the game releases polished as ever, like Fortnite did, and they still called it a beta for years and years and years. Is it still a beta, or is Fortnite Battle Royale still considered a beta? I think it is.
Does it still have the beta tag?
I don't think it does. No, I don't think it does.
Is it fully released?
I think it's fully released.
I don't think so. I
don't
think
think
it's
so?
still. I think it's still a beta.
That's an interesting question. Someone in chat can look that up for us.
Yeah.
And that game was polished when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which game?
Fortnite.
Ronan says he does think it is still a beta.
See, it's not a. There's no way that
No,
game
that's
should
super
be
polished.
a beta.
That was polished day one. Fortnite's still in beta. Yeah. Whoa, closed beta at that.
See, isn't that interesting?
That is
Because don't
interesting.
you have to buy it still? The
So-
Battle Royale section? Yeah. To
Yeah.
get to the beta. Wait,
So-
no. Battle Royale's free to play. It's the base game you
The
have
base
to buy.
game
The
that's
base
beta.
game you have to buy. Yeah.
Still
the
says beta.
save
Yeah,
the-
everybody's saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Save the World mode is the mode that you have to buy. Fortnite's free.
No. So Death Star Destroyer. It's not just a single player version in beta. When you load a match, it says beta. It's still in Battle Royale.
Yep.
It still says beta.
Interesting.
Fortnite Battle Royale open beta.
Wow, that is funny.
It's funny, right? So
Whatever.
I guess
The most money-making game ever, and it's
well,
still
and
a beta.
you know when games are betas, and you know when they're
no,
polished.
It's definitely not.
Fortnite is a polished game.
Oh yeah, no, it really is. It really is. That's our news. Let's get on to our next segment of the show. This is the segment of the show where we take your questions. You can submit a question each and every single week over on Patreon, patreon.com/positivegaming or XoneBros.com/support. Anton writes in. He's our first question. And he says, at E3, they announced that the backward compatibility initiative was coming to an end. They also mentioned that it was a bittersweet situation. My theory, Anton says, is that Scarlet will be powerful enough to emulate all backwards compatible titles without a hitch. No patches required. Just pop in the disc and away you go. What are your thoughts on this development? What do you think of my theory? Anton, I'll go with Spicy first. What are your thoughts? Think that's a possibility, or
no? So emulation is really interesting. It's fascinating to go back and see how emulation works over the years. If the game is written in a different language that the processor can't handle, it takes so much processing power. Eventually, probably in 20 years, you'll have like the Xbox One games emulated. But it's so... I was super impressed when they were able to, this generation was able to emulate the Xbox 360 games, because I believe that they were written in a different language. But I don't see that happening with like the Xbox One versus the next gen. It's not. It can't if it's written in a different language, because hardware language and software language, they have to be written in a certain way, and if things progress to a certain point and technology completely shifts, it can't understand it, and so it has to think harder, and
it's got to translate it basically.
If it can even, if there's even a translation available, because in some cases there are a lot of games that you still can't play that are old. You can't emulate them because there's still problems with it because of how that language works.
Yeah.
It's the same reason that, for example, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Apple computers before, was it like 2009? They could not install Windows like they do on their on their dual boot system that they have, because they weren't Intel chips. They were different chips. It was a completely different language. And so they could not have a dual booting system for Windows. But once they moved to Intel, which was a huge move, I think it was 2009, 2010, I could be wrong, then they can do that. And that's when Apple was a lot smaller then, right? Now they're kind of calling a little bit more shots nowadays. But it's just computer language and hardware and software are very... specific in what you can or cannot do.
Very good. Interesting. Thank you very much, Anton. Great question. Great theory as well. I like that a lot. Thank you very much for writing in. Trimmy Hedges writes in and says, do you guys find yourself playing more indie games lately? He says, I've found so many wonderful, complete indie game experiences for a fraction of the price of larger titles over the last year. Have you guys found yourself playing indie games more? Jordan, let's start with you. You're a big... When I think of AAA games, I think of Jordan. He's powering through them. He's pounding them down. He's making them his own. But indie games, have you found yourself jumping into more indie games lately? Or
well, I mean, I play them more now than I did before, right?
Sure.
I think they're more readily accessible than they were. I honestly, at this time, even on the Xbox 360 market, right?
Yeah.
I think at this time they're more readily accessible than they've ever been, right? Because you have all these programs that are supporting them and all this stuff. But honestly, I'm probably playing more AAA titles than I am indie games. I do play them though.
Well, I think Game Pass really opens up a lot of these
really
titles for us to try. For instance, Enter the Gungeon for me is one that I've really played. I don't know if that's an indie
Hotline
title.
Miami is
it's
one.
a total indie title. Yeah.
So something like that for me, just being able to jump in, download it. I don't have to worry about buying it or anything like that. Really opens the door to these new experiences. So I would say yes for me as well. McSpicy, how about you?
Yeah. It's nice that the console side of things are actually getting more and more indie games. Usually they're only released on PC, which I play on PC as well. PlayStation generally has the better deal with indie games. They've always in the past for some reason. I'm not entirely certain why. I guess there might be some politics behind it. I don't know. But for PC players, we've been getting indie games for years and years and years. That's where I first started playing Super Meat Boy. I mean, that's where Minecraft originally came out of as an indie game originally. Hotline Miami was on there. It just is way more simple for an indie developer to make and release on that platform. I think it's awesome that we're getting them now too.
Yeah.
And we're getting a lot more of them. And so I've been playing them for a long time, and I'm glad that more people are able to play them now that they're coming out on Xbox a lot more freely.
Amen. Trimmy Hedges, thank you very much. That's a great question. Next question comes from Kevin Gellerman. Kevin Gellerman writes in, this is the psychotic. He says, "Hey bros, I was playing Minecraft and hit builder's block." Well, let me tell you why he hit builder's block. He just finished Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
It's not just-
Minecraft
I
Witcher
think-
3.
I think I'm trying to think of an exception. I think it's the coolest structure in our entire realm.
Yeah.
It took him 3 months of
My tower's pretty
non-stop building.
holy cow.
Basic. You should see the detail, the intricacy.
No, it
the
looks
spires
amazing.
on
Okay.
the side.
Do we have our realm being backed up?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how you back up a realm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's make some calls.
No, it's. I actually logged in and saw it's.
So
It's
next to
amazing.
it, so I've decided that's the French quarters. In front of it is Little Britain, and I'm building Big Ben right now.
Nice.
And just Big Ben, a lot more simple of a structure. Like it takes a lot. So so psychotic. He's ran into builder's block because he just crushed it hard.
That's awesome.
Anyways, he says, "Hey bros, I was playing Minecraft and hit builder's block. What are your suggestions for a gamer who hits the proverbial wall on a certain game or genre?" He said, "I've tried other games but can't seem to break the Minecraft habit." This is kind of two questions in
Lego
one.
Worlds is coming out soon.
This is kind of two questions in one. And I'm going to answer one piece and I'll let you guys answer I'll answer one piece that I think Spicy will probably want to chime in on, and then Jordan, you can answer the other piece. The two questions are how to get over builder's block, and then how to break out of a genre and get into other genres. So Jordan, I'll let you answer that piece because I think Spicy's going to want to chime in on how to get over builder's block. When I see that question, I see how to get over. I see it as like creator's block, right? Writer's block or anything like that. Because Minecraft essentially is you're being creative in this virtual world, right?
Yeah.
And I know for me, excuse me. I know for me, I've done a lot of like how to become more creative, how to free your mind, because you reach that point where your mind just feels heavy or it feels cloudy, or how to free that out. Exercise, number one, really helps with that. But number two is read or consume. I would recommend, this has worked for me, consume other creative pieces, right? So like reading fiction helps you become creative because you're using your imagination, right? Viewing other people's creations in Minecraft can be inspiring, or other people's work of art or photography or whatever. But that's just exercising your creative muscles from more of a viewing stance. I think helps you to be more creative and will help you get out of that Minecraft block. Spicy, I know you definitely probably have some suggestions on this.
I mean,
And exercise. For me, exercise. If I go running, if I lift weights, my mind clears right up. But sorry, go ahead.
no, creator's block is tough, man. That's when you got deadlines. I know this is not the same thing, but with what I do, it's rough. How I do that with my professional side of things is a change. You said it. Consume other sorts of media. Do something different just for a time, and then try to bounce back and see if that helps. But since we're talking about this in the gaming realm, I actually use Netflix series to just change it hard for a little bit to relax your brain a little bit. I'm watching The Dark Crystal. By the way, I know a lot of people like that show. I watched the movie that was from the 80s. Somebody recommended it to me like last year.
Yeah, the OG one.
The OG, which I remember watching it as a kid,
How does it fit into the story?
and it terrified me.
Does it fit in pretty good? You're saying you're watching it right now with the...
Yeah, so I don't remember the story too much because I just got scared as a kid when I watched The Dark Crystal. It's a scary show.
I want to
It's
see
like-
it, though, because I watched Dark Crystal, and now I want to see the original. I want to see how it fits in.
I've heard that the series on Netflix is a prequel.
Oh, that's awesome. Now I got to see the 80s.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Because-
Dark
yeah.
Crystal's fantastic. Sorry.
I mean, well, yeah, Jim Henson. In that time period with Jim Henson when he did The Labyrinth and he did this, those characters are cool and they're scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a couple episodes into that show. I really like it. But shows like that, things that are interesting that you enjoy that can just totally derail your mind for a little bit. Then to once you hit that, then get the hook on a good game. So regardless of what it is, find a good game. The Witcher is a great game if you've never played that. If you like shooters, I'm a fan of Overwatch. If you like other games, just play something else that you know and you've heard from other people that is a good game. And I mean, that's what happened to me with Red Dead this week. I was playing Borderlands, and before that I was playing Warcraft, and I just keep getting hooked by these really, really good games. And then I just dive all in. But derail your mind for a sec. Go watch a Netflix something. Go watch something that is longer than a movie. Something that you can invest your mind into, in my opinion, and then latch on to something else. And that should jolt you enough, I think, to get out of a gaming...
creative funk, gaming creative funk even. Jordan, how about
just
you?
Just to get out of a game genre that you're
anything
stuck
to add, retract, take away?
No, pretty much the same. I just tried to jump into different, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for example, we've
Kinky
playing,
is the word I think he's looking for.
yeah. So, no, we've been playing pretty much strictly multiplayer games for the past, 3 or 4 weeks straight. With Red Dead, Borderlands, we've only been playing multiplayer, and then Overwatch is multiplayer, of course. So what I do is I have those multiplayer games that we're playing, right? So I also have another game that I'm playing strictly single player, right? So I turn off the world, and it's something completely different, right? So
Yeah. No, I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
Great question, too. Thank you very much for writing in, Psychotic. Really appreciate it. Super Shark writes in. Shocker writes in and says, hey, Super Shark here. Been listening since the beginning. I just joined Patreon.
Woo, yeah.
So I could...
Hey, thank you.
So I could go wild and ask you guys some questions. Thank you very much. He says, which game do you think has positively impacted society the most? A real world changer. As someone that works with kids and loves science, I'm excited to see what the Minecraft generation codes and builds in 20 years. They got a heck of a head start. Truly love you all. Now that it's fall, I'd love to put together a Friday the 13th community play. Let me know and come see me in Colorado. Oh,
right.
Super Shark. Really appreciate it. Okay.
This is a tough question. There's a simple question there's a simple answer that I want to remove from the list to make it harder.
Okay.
Minecraft, especially, is useful to a lot of third world countries. I've read this. They're using it to teach people how to build things, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
Fun fact, actually, my wife uses Minecraft at her school. She's a teacher. They use it to help kids learn how to code.
Yeah, and that's what Super Shark was talking about.
What you're saying, yeah.
So let's remove that from the table.
Because that's probably the obvious winner,
Yeah.
as far as gaming, right?
Well, I think there's another obvious winner that's impacted society. Fortnite.
But positively? Do you think positively?
That's debatable.
Whether it's a good or bad thing, it's
That is
definitely, you
debatable.
can't say it
It
has an
hasn't
impact.
proved
Yeah.
how games make money.
It did bring us the battle pass.
Did bring us the battle pass.
It is
which
not
is legit.
a loot crate.
Whether
it is a workable solution to make money that is not a loot crate.
Whether it's good or bad, I mean, I think it should be mentioned. It's definitely
Well, Fortnite probably has the biggest
it's
impact.
impacted society.
Outside of Minecraft, Fortnite would be number 2 of having the largest impact.
How
But
would
positive
you-
impact on society.
I think so. I think when you look at it like dancing, this next generation, because dancing
Is
goes...
it positive though? Because I'm standing in line at a grocery store, and every kid on the planet now has Tourette's.
Well, yeah, but...
And they don't know how to sit still, so they do the floss. Every kid on this planet does the floss when they stand
I think
still.
that's hilarious,
That has
though.
never been the case ever in the history of the world.
I think that's hilarious.
I don't think that's funny.
I think it's hilarious.
I think that's a social anxiety
I
issue
think
or
you're
something.
a crotchety old man.
I just change it up. Why does it have to be the
Well,
floss?
the other one, the Orange Boy. What is that? The Orange Boy dance one is hilarious. A lot of kids do that too. But it really has, like, you see like sports stars like doing touchdown celebrations that are Fortnite ones, baseball, NFL. It's crazy the impact that Fortnite has had.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, Death Star Destroyer in chat says Mario has been nothing but positive, but has it been positive?
I mean,
It's been
he does make you
popular.
happy.
And well, because if you think about the actual game itself, he is he's a constructor. He's got a hammer and stuff. Isn't he plumber? I think he originally started in carpentry and then he did a lateral into plumbing. And then he eats mushrooms and gets high and then goes to try to save. The storyline is just an odd storyline for Mario. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's probably had. I feel like Mario, if we're talking about positive impact in gaming, I think that's probably one of the most positive impacts in gaming because everybody, boy, girl, old, young, has played or knows Mario, right? Like, it's an easy formula, and
But I think that's more or less.
has introduced them to gaming, right? So maybe not a positive impact on society, but positive impact on gaming in that it has introduced people to gaming.
I think that's more or less Nintendo marketing kids, not necessarily the Mario IP.
Yeah,
you
that's
know what I
probably
mean?
true. I mean, but it is a simple formula that works really well that they nailed in that game genre.
Well, I think it depends on what you're talking about impacting gaming. Like for example, I think Halo impacted gaming when it originally came out because it changed the way.
So we're talking about impacting society, though.
In a positive way.
Yeah,
this is why
but-
we keep derailing to popularity.
No. But
which
that's
I don't think
that's-
is the question.
No. But that's my point. Halo changed the way every first-person shooter was made, right?
Yeah.
Which impacts society, right? Because it impacts the way you play the game. And then fast forward, Call of Duty 4 did the same thing.
I think outside of Minecraft, nothing can hold a light to Minecraft as far as its positive impact on society as a whole. Because Minecraft is being used as you've gamified learning, right?
Yeah.
You're learning to code, you're learning to build stuff, you're learning engineering by playing a game.
And then there's also not a game, but the engine to make games. What Unreal Engine 4 did when they went free to play, essentially.
Yeah.
They gave it to the world. Making games is now more accessible
So-
to anybody. You know,
I have another answer as well.
Look at me.
I'm going to just say gaming.
I mean, it brought us the internet.
The world as we know it is because of gaming. It has pushed the internet. It expanded how much data that we want to push to a computer, how fast we want to push it. It increases hardware specs. It pushes it. Gaming has pushed the world so far, technologically speaking, that everything that people enjoy that aren't gamers have been directly influenced by gaming itself.
Yeah.
Us nerds like to tinker with our hardware and pushing so far. We want the edge in competition. We want all that stuff. I mean, the internet as we see it right now is because nerds wanted to play games against each other.
Well, think about it. BattleNet and Xbox Live are out because of that reason.
Yeah,
just like you
exactly.
said, right? You know, that's,
And I'm not using the nerd, the derogatory form of a nerd. I mean badasses that figure out how to make hardware better.
That is cool.
you're getting Project
It's a-
Scarlet to push hardware. Right?
It's a great question to think about, though, Super Saga. I've never thought about it in those terms, like what game has had the most positive impact on society as a whole. I think it's got to be Minecraft.
I do. Death Star in chat said the Modern Warfare 3 airport scene did have a huge impact on society. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Especially on Australia.
That was pretty big.
Now Australia can't get like half the games.
Yeah, that is hilarious. Great question,
You
though.
can't get Hotline Miami in Australia either.
Oh,
just
yeah,
so
that's
you
right,
know.
yeah. Can you get Grand Theft Auto?
I don't think you can get any fun games there.
Yeah, great question. Last question comes from the one and only Green Label. Green Label is awesome. We went and met Green Label. He was in town. Jordan didn't get to because he was working.
Yeah.
But it was great, and we got to have
I missed
pastrami
it,
burgers
yeah.
with the gentleman. Green Label writes in and says, if you could add or change something to your favorite game, what would it be?
The price tag.
If you could add...
That's a good
If
one.
you could add or change something to your favorite game, what would it be?
Okay, so first we have to think of our favorite
So
game.
mine is Red Dead Redemption.
I know what mine is.
Mine is Red Dead Redemption, and I want in the OG Red Dead Redemption, I wanted Red Dead Online like more like how we have it now in the original Red Dead Redemption, which I'm getting now. So I mean, it's the same thing. But that's really and additional DLC that wasn't so jokey. Like I want a serious story DLC.
I thought Undead Nightmare was very fantastic.
It's
It was
very good, but I
serious.
really like the serious aspect, the serious storytelling.
I don't understand.
It was just the way it made I don't remember everything that I did in that game. I don't remember the story perfectly at all. But what I do remember in that game is the way it made me feel. And that game, I was so immersed in it, unlike I've been immersed in other games.
I have a question
And
for
I
you.
wanted more of that.
This is actually a deep question for
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
So Red Dead Redemption is essentially two halves of a game, right? You have your
It is.
online portion and your single player portion.
We're talking about 2.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. If you had to choose what they would push more of, because take Fortnite, for example. Fortnite has Save the World.
I put my trash in there.
Yeah. Fortnite has Save the World mode and Battle Royale mode.
Yeah.
Battle Royale by
just
far gets way more updates,
Yeah.
right? If you had to choose what got the updates, what would it be? Multiplayer or single player? Because resources are limited, right?
Yeah. If they can take, and this is where I think they're going with Red Dead Online. If they can take my single player experience where I'm a part of this world and I have an effect, I have an interest in the world and how it goes. Like it feels. It's same with Grand Theft Auto. They do a really good job with Grand Theft Auto. You feel a part of the world and that you're impacting it, that you matter in that world. If they can take that and move that experience to online, I would say online. But because I think that's very hard to do, and I don't think we're going to get there anytime soon, I think single player. I think continue to support single player. If it was an endless single player, like so you bought Red Dead Redemption 2 and it never ended. Like every there were seasons for that. I would be all about that.
Take Grand Theft Auto 5. They chose to do multiplayer, and that, I mean, no single player content for Grand Theft Auto 5 at all, right? It's all multiplayer. So I'm just curious what since it's your favorite game, right?
Yeah. I really hope, and I know a lot of people hope that this doesn't happen. I hope that the DLC is just give me OG Red Dead Redemption with this new engine in this new world. I will replay it since we're in a prequel anyways. Open up Mexico to me. I think Mexico,
and you can add that to the online component.
I think Mexico was this hidden gem. I just remember riding through Mexico. That's where the wolves were.
The chupacabra.
And remember one of my favorite
and that
one of my favorite places was those iconic three big desert towers and the town over there and the train back there. Like if I could add anything to a game, just continuous support of the single player world nonstop. I'm there.
I personally really hope they do Undead Nightmare 2.
Yeah,
I know you just said you didn't like the first one.
No, I liked the first one,
but I'm pretty sure I heard that you hated it.
I wanted them to continue on with Jack's story, Jack Marston's story, or just give me something.
Yeah,
you know,
I hear you.
Jack.
So anyways.
Me and Jordan talked about Jack the other day.
Oh,
Remember when we went to that lake where?
Oh yeah, we were like, "Where is it?" And
No
you're like,
spoilers,
"Oh, where
but,
Jack did the thing."
Oh, did the deed?
Jack did the deed right
we
there
can't go
on
there.
that shore.
We can't go there.
No, we can.
No.
Yeah, Mark and I were just there.
We
No.
were just there.
No, you were on the wrong side of the shore though.
No.
Yeah, that shore is across. It's across the bridge. It's in Mexico.
That wasn't in Mexico.
Are you sure? Because why would that guy go fishing in Mexico?
He was. Yeah.
For vacation.
Jordan's got a
Why
point
else
there.
do you go to Mexico for
Are you
vacation?
sure?
I am positive.
Okay, then I was at the wrong lake.
Well, we were at
It's
the
not
wrong
a-
spot
it's not a
regardless
lake.
anyway.
It's a river.
Well, we were at the river.
Oh, okay.
Trying to pull out our metal detector, and it wasn't working.
It wasn't working. We were collecting. It was a collector raid.
We were trying to.
No, it's across the Rio Grande, which essentially was the Rio Grande, right? New Austin.
Okay,
It's that bridge. Remember, it's that iconic bridge that you're going across. There's fights there all the time in First Red Dead.
We may have to pull up that scene after the show.
We'll pull it up. We'll see. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm remembering it
I
completely
know,
wrong.
yeah.
Either I'm remembering it completely wrong, or you guys are remembering it completely wrong.
Either you're right or wrong. That's what
it. That's what I'm saying.
There's no in
There's
between.
no in between.
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah. What is your? If you could add or take away
game,
anything.
we got to go to my favorite game, which is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. It was a Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
That's my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
What I would add to it, and believe it or not, this has already been done,
Oh.
is a way to make me enjoy the game again for the first time. And for the last several years, and it's gotten better and better and better, they have a randomizer. There's a huge community. It's a Link to the Past randomizer. What it is the community has got together and they randomize the items you get in the game and the locations and boss fights if you want that. They randomize everything. And when you play that game, it starts you out with one item and you have to replay the game and find all the items again and beat the game, right? That's how it works. They have randomizers for all sorts of games. What it does is it basically turns any game into the Binding of Isaac, essentially, which is awesome. And I actually got a new controller, and that to play that game. The randomizer is so much fun. What's great about it is, so you start the game with nothing, and you can only go to certain places with specific items. Like you need the fire wand to get into the dungeon in the top left of the map up there, the swamp. You can't open that place without the fire staff or whatever. But you don't know where that is because it's no longer in the same place it was. It's randomly put in all the loot chests and everything around the world. So you have to go, and you can only access places like you don't have the Titan gloves at a certain point, so you can't lift the rocks. It makes that game completely fresh and new, replayable once again. There's a huge community around it. You guys, anybody listening that enjoys a good Zelda game or that specific game, check them out. It's just Google search The Legend of Zelda Randomizer. Link to the past.
Before we get to Jordan's, I do want to read some in chats. Great to be a Gator says Mrs. Pac-Man with a female main character. Death Star says, I would love for Sea of Thieves to increase the amount of players in a server and allow for multiple crews to join a fleet from the menu, not alliances. Let's see, what else did I see? Oh, also I would love just to be able to name my ship in Sea of Thieves. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, I got a fantastic name for my ship.
What's yours?
We talked about it. It's the Jilted Lover.
Oh, that's right, the Jilted Lover.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good
Maybe
name for a
in
ship.
Atlas, that's what we can name it.
That could be our crew.
Yeah, the Jilted Lover.
Very nice.
We'll get
I once boarded the Baby Maker.
Oh,
yeah. Me too, if you know what I'm saying.
So did my wife twice.
that could be a T-shirt. I once boarded the Baby Maker.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was there.
It made me sick.
Oh man,
Jordan, tell us. Game, your favorite game, if you could add to or take away something from it, what would it be?
Well, my favorite game is probably The Witcher 3.
Oh, over World of Warcraft.
Yeah, The Witcher 3 is really good. Like
It's really good.
What they
I've
did.
been really
and especially
tempted
if you
to
play
play it.
through, you got to play through the expansions. It's a good time. I mean, more content, right? I mean, yeah, I understand that they had to go work on Cyberpunk.
Stealing
But,
away Witcher
You know, I was
stuff.
actually talking to someone the other day, and I'm really excited for Cyberpunk. I really, really am. But so I started playing Dragon Age Inquisition because I just needed that.
You like
single-player game.
the fantasy genre.
Yeah, and I was telling someone, I forget who it was, but as excited as I am for Cyberpunk 2077, I just really like a good fantasy RPG.
Yeah.
Who
You know
doesn't?
what I mean?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
So, but anyway, I would just add more content to The Witcher. There are 2 expansions. Blood and Wine was really good, and then Hearts of Stone was excellent. Maybe if we could, hey, all those short stories in the book, maybe add those as little DLC missions or something. I don't know.
They actually had a nod to those in the game.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. Like, you and Yennefer fight a genie
Yeah.
in the game. Do you remember doing that?
Mhm.
That is a nod to one of the stories from
Yep.
the books.
Yep.
On how it has to deal with their feelings for each other. It's so good. CD Projekt Red nailed this game. In relation to the story.
I just think what they did was story, side quests, intertwining the gameplay, technology. How I think this is personally one of the best games ever made.
I agree 100%.
And,
See, I need to jump in and
reading
the books has got me really, really tempted. I'm also tempted to go back through Red Dead Redemption 2 and replay it.
Yeah, what I love about the latest expansion on Witcher 3, the Blood and Wine, you actually go to a whole new land, which is complete opposite. So the land that we're in, you guys know, is really war-torn. I mean, there's people hanging from trees and all that stuff, right? The new land you go to is like a French countryside, like
The
colorful flowers.
And you learn about that-
big knights in shining armor
You
and
learn
big cities, and it's such a cool dynamic. I wish, if I could ask for anything, it would be more completely new zones that we go to and have fun stories.
I got one thing that I would change. So when I say Red Dead Redemption, we'll include Red Dead Redemption 2 in as a complete package, right? Red Dead Redemption 2, the tension that existed. The reason that I want to go back and play this because the tension that existed between main story quests and open world quests, right? Like open world quests, fantastic. Main story quests, fantastic. It was this constant tension, like, okay, I could go do that, but I need to do the main story. And so I missed out on a lot of really good storytelling. I missed out a lot of one-time events. That's why I want to go back. If I could change anything in Red Dead Redemption as a whole, it would be less of that tension and more like it's okay to play the story. See, but then again, I don't know if you can because part of like the reason what makes the world feel alive is it is a one-time thing that you miss out on if the time changes or the date changes or it's day or it's night or
there's permanence.
Yeah, that brings that permanence.
Makes the world feel
when
real.
you forget to teach that girl how to hunt, she's gonna die.
Yeah,
And
if
she
you
does.
don't-
For some of us, she did.
yeah, and so there is this tension that exists always in that game that really stressed me out. The first playthrough to where I ended up just powering through
It's
the story.
around chapter 3 when you realize I'm just gonna play the story.
Yeah.
And then you miss everything.
You
in
miss
between.
everything, especially because chapter 3, that's where you start in the South, right? Like you're starting this new.
I'm talking right after the mansion scene.
Yes,
That's when-
I miss. There's so much cool stuff.
Because the story just goes to the next level, and you're like, I gotta find out what's happening.
There's so much.
I don't
cool
have
stuff
time to do
that
anything
just
else.
takes place on and around the mansion property that that I completely missed. That I know about because people have told me, or I've seen the After Effect remnants when I went back.
It's because the game takes such a good, like, interesting turn. Things happen to certain people. Things are getting more stressful in that whole dynamic. And you just go, okay, I got to find out what's happening. But then you leave everything else behind.
So basically, what I'm saying is I need to change myself.
Yeah.
Okay, the tension does, having talked this through, the tension does need to exist for that permanency to matter. But I just needed to be more patient. Be like, okay. Well, the problem is because I'm trying to keep up with my friends, like Jordan, who are freaking power maniacs and blow through the story.
I did a lot of side quests.
Shut up.
Hey, just for the record, for that reason, how they intertwine the side quests with main story, basically they did exactly what Witcher 3 did. I would also argue that Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the greatest games ever made. It's definitely in my top.
Here's the
3.
thing. I think when you talk about, we always talk about video games being a work of art. I really think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a work of art. Like,
oh, I do too. I agree.
The music, the way, again, that tension, that constant push and pull between different quests and what you're doing. You're telling us, think about how difficult it is to tell a story in an open world. And they do it, right? To be just riding your horse down the road. And its complaint, its knock was, it's too slow paced. I think the world needed a slow paced game like that.
I do.
At this time, if you had a problem with Red Dead Redemption 2 and you struggled to get into it, go back to it. I bet you're ready for it now. I bet it's a work.
You need to change, just like David needs to change. We all need to make a change. Michael Jackson said, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change.
And change.
Shimon.
No, and I actually think that was the big. I think that was the big complaint. And I think that's why, like, if you gave people 2 games, Witcher 3 or Red Dead Redemption 2, which one they'd pick overall, right? I think people would probably lean towards The Witcher because Red Dead Redemption had a slower pace, but that was the setting of the game.
That was the story. And so you're riding down, you're doing something that's very slow paced, right? You're riding your horse, you're hunting or something. And as you're riding down, a stranger crosses your path that doesn't even communicate with you. You follow them down that path into a house, into a cabin, and this story ensues in front of you. Grand Theft Auto does this as well. It's just, I think it's just a music will start to play, or there's a scene where you're kneeling next to a site, and I don't want to give too much away if you've not played the game. You're kneeling next to a site. It's a pretty epic site in this game. It's towards the end of the game. Some big stuff has happened, and this music starts to play, and it's and it's just barely in the background, right, along with some voices, and it's like, whoa.
They made the game.
It's a work of art,
like a Western.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Exactly, yes. It's this adventure, which a Western is just this idea of you can go and be a part of this adventure. You don't know what's going to happen. You might die, but it's your adventure.
Yeah.
I just love that game. I love that game so
really
much. I'm
is.
going to go back and replay. I want to go back and replay it to experience it and not feel. Since now I know the gist of the main story, to really fully experience it. Right. It's like the first time. It's like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I was hungry. I was starving, so I just plowed through the 64-ounce steak.
64 ounces.
Just plowed through it. I was starving. Now I'm full.
It's
4 pounds.
It's 100 gig game.
Now I'm full. So now I want to go back so that I could savor every bite. I didn't get to enjoy
Put some
it fully,
seasoning
you
on
know.
it.
Oh, what a game! Anyways, but I want to do that with Witcher 2, having read the books, like reading. I'm still going through the books. Oh,
The Witcher's amazing.
so good. I love games. Gaming is so cool. Anyways,
The Witcher's amazing.
no, you're amazing.
I think I'll go back to The Witcher. I just don't know when. Right now, I'm collecting my A off.
Yes, you are.
Hey, if you guys go back to The Witcher, I'll jump and party with you and start a new game.
This
We
is
can all
what.
play together.
So we know.
Like,
We'll
guys,
go do the
run-
Baron mission again.
Yeah.
Hey, Green Label. By the way, thank you very much. That's a fantastic question. We really appreciate it. That was the last of our questions. Wait, I want to talk real quick. What do you think? I think for roles, the next one, and I could see it. There are wild horses everywhere. It's like they increased the population of wild horses. I think somehow horse taming,
Well, I think
horse
people
training
have
is
stuff to do.
coming.
They stop shooting them.
You shoot a deer, you get bonus points for being awesome, and you use every part. You shoot a horse, you get cruelty.
Yeah.
So they really like their horses.
Well, so I think
hard.
horses is going to be a role coming up as well, or maybe will be added to a role. Fishing, I think, is going to be a role as well that we don't have yet, and you could do all kinds of fishing because you could have a ferry, you could have some kind of bass fishing on that river there. Are we in online able to go back to Guarma?
No.
No.
They
Which,
need
by
to
You
the
can't
way-
even do that in the game.
Which,
you
by
can't
the
go back to
way,
Guarma in the game.
There's 2 achievements that have to be that include Guarma. So if you've passed Guarma, you have to restart.
Well,
the
see,
whole game
and
to
here's
do
the
it.
unfortunate thing about Guarma. Guarma to me was like, I just want to get off this island and get back to the main world,
game, 'cause
right?
you're trying to figure
'Cause
out the story.
It felt like this
That's on
left
like
hand
the
turd.
that's on the later half of the game.
But
though,
now
so-
I want to go back and really experience Guarma because I really didn't experience. I went from point A to point B, and Guarma's this huge place, right? That's what I'm talking about. I didn't say for it.
There are several species of animals in Guarma that you need to
so there's
right bumper, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's 2 achievements.
Right bumper their heads off.
I think there's 2 achievements: collect all plants and collect all animals. And there's a
and
certain,
rum. There's a specific rum. That
yeah,
you
there's
gotta
a
get to.
certain plant and a certain animal on Guarma. So if you miss it,
Okay, I want Guarma to come back.
which
But
is
here-
basically Cuba, right?
Here's the thing. You think?
Yeah.
How do you think? How do you think they're going to do player housing? We know it's coming. It's got to come. You've got to bring permanency in order for this to work.
Well, I don't
Because
think
how do you
when
do
you
it-
say permanency? I mean, you can't really when you got 1,000
It'll turn into a Rust map if
yeah
it's
when
permanent.
you got like 1,000 people wanting
No.
Breacher's hope.
No. The same way Grand Theft Auto brings permanency. No matter what. See that apartment building? That's my apartment building.
Well,
Right-
yeah,
right there.
yeah, I think it's
But that
gonna be
just
done that
becomes an
way.
instance. But how do you do
Yeah.
it? But that works in that world because no matter who you are, that's my apartment building. Oh, I live there as well. I live at the other apartments, right? Well, it's essentially the same plot of land that they just put everybody in, and then you can style your apartment as you want. How do you do that in a red?
You
game?
can-
Oh, well, I
circus tents. You'll
Circus
just have
tents.
Well, no, I think
you'll
you
have
just
your
add
guy
certain
move your
cabins.
camp around, and the camp will get bigger and bigger, and eventually it'll be this huge circus tent.
No, see, I wouldn't like that.
No,
I want a
No,
ranch. I
if
want
it's
the
a
golden
cool
thing.
tent.
I want to be able to get a ranch, my own ranch, with a couple hundred head of steed.
Like
If we could go on cattle
like
drives,
one of the
eventually.
characters.
If
in
we
the
can,
game,
yeah, if we
eventually.
can go on cattle drives eventually.
Like the epilogue.
Yes, I want a cattle drive with you, gentlemen. It's cross country.
I did that with Bonnie in the first game several
Oh.
times.
Are you a gunslinger, sir?
Yeah. So, but how do you do that without
No, I'm not.
breaking the world?
How do you do a cattle drive without breaking?
No,
it?
no,
That's what I'm saying.
A permanency.
You can't, and that's why I don't think
You think they just break it? They
well, no,
just-
yeah.
and
Well,
you
I
don't
mean,
have
think
to break
about
it.
what you're asking, right? How do you make the online world be online while being single player, right?
But they
Like
did
you-
it with Grand Theft Auto.
No,
online.
but it's instanced.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. That's
That's
you'd
what he
have-
wants.
You'd have to do that because I want my own place. I want my own.
No,
homestead.
yeah, I think what they will do if they do it like that is it'll be like Grand Theft Auto. There'll be like a house in Tall Trees that you can buy, an apartment in Blackwater. They'll just
Yeah,
have
but if
different
I have
locations
that
you can
house
buy.
and Spicy has that house, that breaks it.
I have the
To a certain
solution.
extent.
but that's,
Waterworld.
Yeah,
There'd just be like
Okay,
oil
shit.
ships. Everything gets covered in
this
water.
is- I say they just take a note.
Kevin Costner,
Yeah,
Waterworld.
I think Rockstar just takes a note from Epic, and just for like 3 weeks, just flood the world.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Imagine, and then
Dude, you
and
could.
then you can like get webbed feet and go down and get.
What if you
dirt.
do seasonal events and like it's summer, there's a drought, all the plants are dying, the trees are dying, there's different animals coming in.
yeah.
You could have like different stranger missions.
But
as a result.
back to your point,
Yeah.
I don't think you can do it like that. Because think about it, like you can't have permanency in the fact that that player already bought that, so it's now not available because there's thousands of
No,
players
I
buying
think-
it, right? You know what I
But
mean?
there
Like-
are a lot of houses in that world where you can open the door, and then they just make that an instance.
yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying it'll be. But David says that breaks it because what if you and him buy the same house? And
Yeah,
you know.
it just kind of whereas in Grand Theft Auto the solution is it's apartment buildings, right?
I think
it's
you're-
yachts.
I
so it's my
think-
separate yacht.
I think you're waiting for the Oasis
Or Waterworld.
or Waterworld, yeah,
And then you just get that
unfortunately-
destroyer.
Unfortunately, HoloLens isn't quite that powerful just yet. So, because in the Oasis,
I guess
you can have your
well,
own.
here's what you could do. You could instance towns. So then when you go into a town, it's essentially the same, but everybody's in a different.
So Destiny,
Really smart people. Yeah, Destiny. You could Destiny it.
you can
Layering.
tower it.
You could tower it.
You can do
layer
layering.
it.
You can do layering like World of Warcraft.
Interesting. Well, anyways, I'm excited for it. I'm really having fun.
No, Red Dead's a good game.
It's honestly the last. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my age, but the last I'd say like 3 weeks.
It's your age.
I've been-
If you're talking about the problem, I think you're talking about.
Oh yeah. Well, no, that's a whole other podcast that we do. Which it's called the X1 Couples Cast. Come join us. We help you with any issues that you might be having.
Age-related issues.
Age-related issues.
Not
No, but I've really
licensed by the FDA.
and I think it's because I've been reading and like, and I've been playing. Also, I think it's because it's just everything combined. At this point in my life, the way that I've been playing a lot of multiplayer games. I've been playing a lot of battle royale games, and then I've been playing, and I haven't been playing any single player games. And I've been thinking about the single player games experiences that I've had, and it's just really made me appreciate them. Right, like there is something special about being lost in a world that is single player, like a Red Dead, like a Witcher, and I want to go back or like a Skyrim. Skyrim did that to me as well. That I'd like to go back and experience. I'll tell you what, you want to know a game I'm getting good at? Madden. Oh,
I've seen you play and win.
dude, I'm trying. My goal is to get the top 10%. I'm in the 30s right now, so we're making
you're
some
in, top 30s or
Yeah.
you're in the bottom
30%,
24%.
70.
Yeah, no, top 30. I'm trying to get the top 10%, and then we'll go from there. We'll see how it is. When you play a game for 5 hours a day repeatedly, you get pretty against people.
No.
You go for a
Yeah.
lossing, and a game that I'm naturally good
That's
at
how the pros
anyways.
do it.
Like, I think I'm taking it to the next. You should see the plays I was pulling off today earlier. Oof.
Yeah,
Not
you
to
were
toot my own,
playing the other day.
horn.
You were playing Rainbow Six. I was watching you play that. You're way better. I would have you on my team.
Oh, wait.
Before it was,
I'm not really good at that
I
game
had
at
to
all.
get you when I got Jordan or Jono. You know,
It's a
now
package deal.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, he's getting good.
I suck at that game. So
Dude, Rainbow Six is fun.
good. It's good.
Also, I'm playing with some top tier players, and when you play with top tier players, you have to step up your game, or they laugh at you.
Literally
Well-
on the mic chat.
Yeah,
Literally.
I mean, we laugh at you anyways.
Yeah, I guess I just am used to it. Guys, that does us for another week. Thank you very much for joining us. We are the XoneBros. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. Jordan, any last words?
No.
Okay, then let's.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Will you hit the
I'm good
exit
to go.
button?
I've been playing. I know here. I've been playing
Dragon.
Dragon Age.
Boom, there you go.
That is a fun game.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to.
He has yet to get to the part where he executes people.
I want you to stream. Let's do a decision stream cast.
It's
with
gonna
Spicy,
be boring.
When we finally do it.
It's literally me there, it's just staring at the screen, thinking for hours.
We can do it together, the three of us, and we'll make you make your decision.
Okay,
Guys, thank you very much. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes. We love you. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.